This Sunday, we have some of the most interesting and beautiful passages in all of any of the green seasons, those long seasons after Epiphany and after Pentecost, those green seasons where we read passages about Jesus' earthly ministry, his teachings, and his ministry on earth, and how they connect and are foreshadowed by things from the First Testament. So in the First Testament reading from Nehemiah, after years of captivity in Babylon, the Israeli people are back together and they find the scrolls, the law that had been given to Moses and formed that rabbinical tradition, but the scrolls that had been lost during their captivity, and they find them again and they're reading aloud the law for the first time in a generation. And Ezra the prophet is reading the law and the people begin weeping because they realize how disconnected they are with their tradition. And Ezra says to all of the people gathered, he says, don't weep. This is not a time for mourning. This is a time to eat the fat and drink sweet wine and go your way rejoicing, because the joy of the Lord is your strength. And that idea of connecting with our tradition and having joy in that, and that is the strength that we carry into the world around us. Such a powerful idea. And it's matched with Jesus at the very beginning of his earthly ministry, going into the temple. They give him the scroll to read, and he reads this passage from Isaiah. The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, for he has given me the gospel to preach to all people. So again, this idea of this long tradition, that the Moses tradition, linking them with the time of Ezra and Nehemiah, the Isaiah prophecy linked with Jesus' ministry, and that this joy that we have is our strength. So at the offertory, the choir will be singing a setting of that Isaiah passage, "The Spirit of the Lord is upon me." This is a movement from a larger work, an oratorio, by the English Edwardian composer Edward Elgar. So of course it was originally written for a concert setting with a full orchestra, but it has become part of the core tradition of Anglican church choirs. And you can hear Elgar's very expressive writing as he conjures up the power of that prophecy. And the choir sings those words, "The Spirit of the Lord." And it's a fairly expansive piece. There are several sections even within this one movement, and there are some really beautiful melodies. There's this moment right before the end when the sopranos have this lilting 3/4, almost a waltz kind of a feel. So a lot of really magical moments as it illuminates that text. But with the other prayers, the collect of the day, and the hymns that we'll be singing, there's a lot of hints of that idea of the Spirit of the Lord being upon Christ, about that Jesus is the manifestation of this tradition, from the law of Moses to the prophecy, and all of this is God's way of reaching out and communicating with us. And those words are really, those ideas are really summarized beautifully in this poem by F. Bland Tucker that will start our service, the opening hymn, "All Praise to Thee for Thou, O King Divine," which really charts out how Jesus is manifest, God's presence with us. And in our hymnal, it's matched with that very powerful melody by Charles Villiers Stanford, known as Engelberg. Wonderful way to start our service as we go through and think about our connection with that tradition and the joy of the Lord being our strength. We hope that you will join us here at St. John's as we celebrate together.